Well, why is that alarming? Why should we care? Well, it raises the terrifying question. At what point does a lab-grown brain feel something? Consciousness, it turns out, may be easier to accidentally create than anyone expected.
Welcome to Waywut, your weekly verbal double take. This is a rabbit hole podcast where a couple of old guys do moderate to shallow dives into various topics, ranging from true crime, paranormal, sports, pop culture, or anything else that we find interesting. We drop episodes every Tuesday, and then on Fridays if we feel like it. You can follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram. We appreciate you joining us. And now that we got all this self-promotion stuff out of the way, here.
Well, hello again, and thanks for stopping by for your weekly verbal double take. If it is your first time, don't worry. We will be gentle, and we promise to call you in the morning. My name is Jason, and in this episode, I am a mad scientist cooking up another topic that made me say, wait, what?
I don't appreciate you.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't appreciate you making that promise on my behalf. I might not call you. And I might not be gentle.
Well, joining me as always is a man who has been told repeatedly to quit putting his pipette in everyone's petri dish, Darrell.
All right, yeah.
Guilty as charged.
I guess.
Well, the saying, curiosity killed the cat, never really resonated with me. Curiosity leads to knowledge and understanding. Curiosity leads to answers. Curiosity makes you ask questions, all kinds of questions. If you are truly seeking comprehension, no question is off limits. Questions that usually start with, what if? What if I applied heat? What if I added teriyaki sauce? What if I applied more pressure? What if we sped it up? What if we split them? What if I used my thumb? What if we ate them? What if we are living in someone's dream, man?
What
Silly
if
question. Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, what if I don't wear a condom?
Oops.
Well, you're saying curiosity it doesn't lead to bad things. It's like, well, that leads to girls having a phase in college they don't like to talk about, and sometimes it leads to various STDs.
Very true. Answers to what if questions. I mean, they are silly questions, pertinent questions, random questions are all in play. But what about questions you don't want to know the answer to? Should those questions still be asked?
And then today I just stopped and I said, what if I don't want to be a shoe?
Now I'm going to pivot for a second. Now, a few episodes ago, Darrell did a episode called Theories of a Sleepless Night. And he brought up some theories that if you really thought too much about them, it would probably make you end up in a padded room.
Get me out of here!
Theories that, if true, will be beyond troubling and scary. Good thing most of them are just that. They're just theories. Now let's jump back to the question I just posed a second ago. Asking a question you don't want to know the answer to is one thing. You get a simple answer, whether you like it or not, and you deal with it. But what if you ask that question, but there is no answer yet? People asked the question, there was no answer, so they did some experiments to get the answer. That is what we will kick around today, experiments with some disturbing, proven results. Now the first question probably went something like this. You know, social media is great. It reaches millions of people worldwide. How can we use that to control how our audience feels? And this is what the first thing we're going to talk about. And these are all been proven. These are all been stated as true. This isn't just theory. These are all true experiments.
They've all had experiments with quantifiable results.
Yes. Okay. And the person who's done them has admitted to them being true. Okay. And the first one is Facebook's emotional contagion study done from 2012 through 2014. Now, what happened? Now, without telling users, Facebook secretly altered the emotional tone of millions of news feeds to see if mood spreads digitally. Well, what was learned? Well, it worked. Emotional content is contagious. There are reasons why people do political videos on exposing Karens, or videos of people feeding the homeless. It invokes emotion. Getting no reaction is bad. getting a reaction, whether good or bad, is what is desired. Now, why is it alarming? Well, the largest psychological experiment in history proved tech companies can manipulate human emotion at scale, quietly steering global moods. It was already proven in the political world. If you aren't seeing the other side, your emotions will be skewed.
Ugh. Yeah, I can believe that because it's one of the reasons why I just whenever election time's around, I kind of avoid Facebook because everybody's emotions are pretty keyed up,
Yeah,
and
the all-time high.
it's easy to get caught up in it. You're like, I'm not going to get involved. And then you see what somebody wrote, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
Yes, yes, I'm gonna tell him.
That's an emotional response.
So funny you say that because Ashley and I were talking about this at dinner earlier where I used to get on Facebook and I look at videos or look at people's posts, and very rarely did I look at the comments until I started following politics and started looking more into people's comments and how I'll be like, oh no, he did not just say that, and have to sit there and respond back to him. It's so silly.
See, I never felt compelled to respond. Usually, I'm just like, okay, because I don't want to. I don't want to debate nobody. I don't want to fight nobody over it. They're going to think what they think, and I'm not going to try to change their mind. But yeah, believe me, the urge is always there. Just sit there and say something just smart ass to me whenever somebody says something just asinine and stupid. And you're just like, thumbs all keyed up. You're ready to go, and it's like, no.
It's just I usually bite. I usually take a big bite of that rage bait. It accused me of just the stupidity of some people. It shouldn't, like you said, I should just keep scrolling, but I choose to comment because they put themselves out there and they're open to public scrutiny in my eyes.
Yeah.
As we put ourselves out there on YouTube, hoping for people to listen to us.
Well, yeah, but I don't think we never really try to piss anybody off. At least I don't.
Not intentionally.
No, yeah, not intentionally. I evoke emotions on accident on people. Whether it's anger or embarrassment or unbridled lust. One of the,
that's the one I usually have to hold back.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, the second question probably went something like this. Hey, you know all that science stuff they did in Jurassic Park? I wonder if that can be done for real. There's no way it will end like the movies did. Well, in 2015 through 2020, the testing called Controlling Evolution. What happened? Well, using a CRISPR, the CRISPR is CRISPR. It stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats. Like I said, it just rolls right off the tongue. Just beautiful. Well, scientists built gene drives that force certain traits to spread through entire species, even causing populations to collapse. Well, what was learned? The technology works frighteningly well in lab tests with insects. Well, what does it matter? Why is it alarming? One escaped mosquito or locust could rewrite an entire ecosystem, a permanent biological domino effect no one can stop once it starts. If done to humans, entire races could be terminated.
Yeah. So I think, if I remember right, it might be CRISPR or it might be another one that is the one that's like kind of on track for people to kind of essentially be able to genetically mold their babies. Where you knock them up and you just like, okay, I want to have a blonde hair, blue eyes, whatever German talk you want to do. Or, there was that episode, was it Key? No, it was Whitest Kids You Know, where this couple got guilted into having a one-eyed, one-legged pirate baby of color or something, because they were like, yeah, you could pick their skin color, and they're like, so you can't have a black baby, huh? So they get guilted into having like all these weird traits in their kid. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the modifying people thing.
No, doing the research for this one, I did come across what you're talking about, how they could basically choose and pick the genes what their baby want. Like, yeah, I want blue eyes and freckles and whatever. You could pick all
It's
that.
like a create a character.
Yeah, like a Build-A-Bear. Yeah, it doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem
Yeah, I
right.
mean, yeah. Well, it would be funny. It's like because then you end up with just a bunch of beautiful, shallow people. Just-
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that gene stuff is. Here's
well, I
a
thought.
question.
Oh, I was just
Oh, go
gonna say,
ahead.
I thought where you were going with this at first was that woolly mammoth that they're trying to clone. You know, it was mostly
Mhm.
frozen, and they're thinking they can actually bring back the woolly mammoth, and it's
But
like,
there's
well, that's kind of Jurassic Parkish.
I have another one on here that's it's very similar to that
Yeah.
and Resurrecting. Uh, here's another possible reenactment of the third question. The scene is a married couple driving around headed to dinner. The husband starts with the usual, "What do you want for dinner?" The wife comes back with, "Oh, I don't care." The husband lists 5 different places, all to which the wife shoots down. The husband thinks to himself, "I sure do wish I can read her mind." Now, in 2023, the University of Texas, hook 'em, they did AI can read your thoughts. Uh, what happened? The researchers trained an AI to interpret brain scans and generate readable text describing a person's thoughts and visualizations. And what was learned? Well, with enough data, an algorithm can decode the gist of inner speech without the subject speaking at all. That's fucking scary.
Well, I tell you what, they haven't put that in Chat GPT because sometimes that's like like trying to talk to a retard through a wall.
A deaf one.
Yeah.
God damn it, Helen, listen to what I'm telling you to do.
Yeah. So I mean, it ain't being used there. My thing is like it's kind of scary, but I mean, like, I don't think I've ever had my brainwaves measured. So I mean, as long as I ain't walking around with electrodes on my head and some scientist with a computer rolling around on a little rolly desk behind me trying
Uh-huh.
to keep up, saying, "Oh, he's thinking about Taco Bell,"
True. I was thinking more about law enforcement or government officials somehow using it to.
I think in the long run that would be it would be very hard to get something like that admissible in court because it's hard to even say that in a concrete way. I mean, they're saying, yeah, this person said this, and this is probably, yeah, this is the same or whatever. You never know, but it just seems like it's something that would not be super concrete. It's something that's fallible. I
It's
can't
kind of like
imagine they do
hearsay.
that. Yeah, essentially, I don't think it would. It's not physical evidence. It's not like DNA or anything
Uh-huh.
like that. That's why lie detectors will never work. It's just a machine claiming it can read a person.
You're a fan of Black Mirror, right? On
Yeah,
Netflix. Have you seen the majority of the episodes?
I haven't watched the new ones.
Do you remember the one where it's like a contact lens you have to wear, but it records your entire
Yeah,
life, and they make you go back and forth to show you certain times to check where you were?
yeah,
I
yeah.
I
That's in
wonder
a
if
bunch
it's,
of them.
yeah, if it's something along those lines.
Well, that's the kind of thing that fucking Elon Musk wants to do. I mean, it's one of those things where everybody's like, "Oh, I mean, there's certain things I will trust Elon Musk with. My brain is not one of them." And this whole like Neuralink thing that he wants to do, I'm like,
Mhm.
no. I get like if you're a paraplegic, quadriplegic, or something like that, and you're capable, and they're able to stick this thing in your head, and you're able to able to move your arms and stuff like that. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm not gonna do it to make Sora videos. If I just imagine exactly what I want, then it'll create the AI video. I'm not going to do it for that. And I mean, as good as the porn probably is, no, I'm not going to do it for that either.
Oh, I saw something on Sora today it wasn't exactly porn, but I definitely saw boobs.
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of funny the what people work to get around the content things because like I've seen there was a trend there for a bit where people kept doing like pretty women just swelling up and getting fatter and fatter,
Uh huh.
and then it would rip through the clothes and then boobs would show, even though
Oh.
they're giant fat lady boobs. It's like,
Oh.
yeah, but she started hot.
They always do.
The one I saw, it was some chick playing volleyball, and it said it kept changing her clothes, and they eventually changed her clothes to chargers, like your charger for your phone, just a bunch of chargers stretched around her, and you can see right through it all.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here making puppet videos, and there's always gonna be somebody like, "How can I beat off to this?" I'm like, "I'm playing with puppets. I'm playing with my wiener." You know, we all have different goals.
Uh, Whatever gets you there. All right. Well, the fourth question probably went something like this: Hold my vodka. I'm about to do something stupid. This is the one I was talking about a second ago. The
Okay.
resurrection of ancient viruses. This
Ooh.
was done in France and Russia from 2014 through 2023. What happened? Researchers revived zombie viruses frozen in Siberian permafrost, some over 30,000 years old, to study their biology. Well, what was learned? The viruses were still infectious, even at millennia of dormancy. Well, as time goes by, more permafrost melts. Ancient pathogens could return naturally, awakening biological time bombs from Earth's past.
You don't have to wait for permafrost to melt. It could also come in on comet fragments and meteorites and things like that.
Yeah.
Uh, so, yeah. I mean, that's the weird thing about viruses is I remember when I was a kid, it pissed me off because, you know, when we learned about animal kingdoms and things along those lines, uh, viruses at that point they were still considered living things, but the debate on them not being living was kind of like pretty hardcore. Well, then like I want to say like a year later, they came down and they're like they're not alive, and I'm like, yeah, they are. And then
Mm.
once I actually understood how they worked, and I mean, essentially, it is like a rogue strand of like DNA or RNA that just injects that. It's not a rogue strand. I mean, it actually has like a form to it, but it cooks on that cell and then just causes itself to replicate over and over and over and over and over. Um, and it's pretty. I mean, it makes sense that it's some ancient forms of it that we haven't come across because I mean they do evolve and change, and
Mm-hmm.
even though they're not alive, it's weird.
Hmm. Yeah, that one is kind of scary. That it's something that killed possibly the dinosaurs or some other species at the time could
Well, I
be
mean,
stirred
well,
up.
keep in mind a lot of viruses are that say a virus that hurts. Like when you hear about avian flu is a
Mm-hmm.
virus, and it is scary of the possibility of it jumping to people. And I think it has happened a couple times or
Mm-hmm.
something along those lines, or they think it might have happened a couple times. But the thing, it hasn't, and hopefully it won't. But I mean, a lot of times those viruses think they stick with a species. So I mean, if that's like some sort of dinosaur virus, well, unless you're an alligator or a lizard person, you're probably okay.
Well, there's lizard people again. You just never know. The viruses, that's the one. Actually, is going to kill me for this, but that's the one that just has to run its course. It is no really medicine for it. It just has
Um,
to give it its week worth of running through your body, and then you'll be over it.
for the most part, because antibiotics do not work on viruses. Antibiotics kill biological things like bacteria and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are some antiviral medications. Now, for most of those, it has to be very early upon infection. Like the I can't remember the flu one. There's a flu one that I can't think of the name of that's very popular. And if you don't get that in like the first day or two of your infection, or showing symptoms, it's not going to do you any good.
Basically, sitting in a
Uh,
doctor's office already.
Valtrex, the herpes medicine, antiviral. Because I
Mm-hmm.
remember, so like my dad had like some sort of viral eye infection that caused like a Bell's palsy reaction.
Oh.
And he got so mad at me because I saw that he got Valtrex. I was like, "You got eye herpes." He's like, "It's an antiviral. You've got eye herpes." Pissed him off.
Oh, that's funny. All right. The fifth question was posed something like this. It sure would be cool if we could do brain transplants. We can't do one without a supply of brains. Perhaps we can grow them. Well, in 2019, brain organoids showing neural activity. Now, what happened? Miniature brains grown from human stem cells developed EEG-like electrical patterns similar to those of premature infants. And what was learned? Neural tissue can self-organize into rudimentary circuits capable of coordinating firing. Well, why is that alarming? Why should we care? Well, it raises the terrifying question. At what point does a lab-grown brain feel something? Consciousness, it turns out, may be easier to accidentally create than anyone expected.
That one is terrifying. Because, I mean, couldn't imagine, I mean, you're not going to be able to have any, like, normal, like, coherent thoughts, but still be like, blah, you know, whatever. But here's, you take this one step further. We don't understand consciousness.
No.
At all.
No. See, the episode I was just talking about that you did, a lot of that dealt with consciousness being on certain different levels.
Yeah, they don't know if it's in the brain, or if it's like the way that the electricity is firing through the brain. There are some people that think it's technically at a quantum level, that consciousness resides in the subatomic particles that are firing along inside of our brain because of out of body experiences and stuff like that. Because if your body's here and your consciousness is over there, you know, your brain isn't. If your consciousness resides in your brain, how can that be? Well, that's what some people think. Start going with quantum explanations of that. I don't know if out of body experiences are true. I've never had one, but it's still an interesting thought of, like, whenever it comes to determining what is consciousness. Is the soul consciousness? Nobody knows. Is the soul a thing? You know, what is the soul? Is the soul the actual energy that goes through our body that's sitting there powering our movements of our hands and our thoughts and stuff like that? Or is it some little part of our brain that's kind of just sitting there quietly absorbing all this, and it's going to go, once we die, it's going to go fire off into the heavens and go tell on us to whatever deity's up there.
Yeah.
He spanked his monkey 477 times in 2003.
It was a long year, man. But this one is scary, because if they could grow consciousness or brain and it could create consciousness, that's a person being trapped inside a brain in a sense that has no legs, no arms, no way to get out.
You're talking about something else, though, because it doesn't mean it's a person.
Well,
it means it's an entity.
An entity is aware that it's alive.
Well, and here's the other thing, though. Whenever you're talking in consciousness, are you talking like in the terms of like dogs or bacteria or bugs?
Awareness?
I mean,
I don't think bacteria knows it's alive.
We don't know. I don't know. I saw Osmosis Jones. It's hard to say.
I haven't seen that cartoon. I know what you're talking about.
old reference.
All right. This is the last one, and this is the one that bothers me the most, because it's very evident by our today's society. The obedience experiment lives on from 2009 to Santa Clara University. And what happened? The psychologist Jerry Berger partially recreated Stanley Milgram's 1960s obedience study, having participants believe they were shocking another person for mistakes. Well, what was learned? Well, despite decades of awareness and ethical reforms, over 70% of participants still obeyed the authority figure. So no matter if that other person was receiving pain, they were still being told to go ahead and do it, and they would still go ahead and press that button to cause that shock, just because an authority figure was telling them to do it. Well, why is that alarming?
I don't know why anybody gets alarmed or is surprised by this. I mean, this is simple. Self-preservation.
Yeah. Obedience over conscience, yeah.
It is self-preservation. It is your biological imperative to stay alive. You have to stay alive so you can fuck. You know, when you boil us down to like the nitty-gritty of us just being animals, we eat, sleep, stay alive to fuck and make more of us. So yeah, this people, you know, people, we're better than that. No, we want to stay alive. If something's going to make our life possibly shorter, we avoid it, unless you're fucked up and broken.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one doesn't bother me or scare me. It's just like, durr.
Yeah. It shows how people prioritize obedience over conscience, and it is a chilling reminder that ordinary people can easily become instruments of cruelty.
All right. I mean, it's still the same thing where you said it's obedience over conscience. I don't believe that at all. I think if you gave them a button and it's like, all right, there's two buttons. You're sitting there across the table from somebody. You can push the button on the left and a giant spike's going to come up through your chair, go through your asshole, go through your guts, and come out the top of your head. Or you push the other button and two bricks are going to come down, smash that dude's head, and kill him instantly.
You're going to press the other button. Yeah.
Yeah, every time. I mean, it's the same way. If
it's not causing you harm, would you still press that button just because you're told to?
Well, you keep saying authority figure.
Yeah.
Okay,
I should have explained the test better.
Okay, shouldn't interrupt is what happens.
No, okay, the test, you have somebody in a room where they're getting shocked, where they acting like they're getting shocked. They have an authority figure telling another person that you have to shock them again, even though they don't want to, because they're seeing the pain that is caused on the other person. They're still doing it because they're being told to.
And if they refuse?
There is, I don't remember the exact punishment, but there wasn't.
See, there has to be. If there
it wasn't hurting them. They were just prodding. Okay, I remember now. They were just prodding them, telling them that tests must continue. In order to continue the test, you have to do this. That's all they were giving them to do, and they were still doing it.
Oh wow! Sorry. Now that is a matter of will. Okay, that's a matter of submission and obedience, because that is somebody that is essentially imposing their will on them, and they're giving in. Yeah, it's like, I mean, if you're like, push this button, no, yes, no, yes, no. What are you gonna do if I don't? You have to. What are you gonna do? I mean, right. That's where that stops. That's not hard. You know, now if it gets to the point where I start getting hungry and they're like, all right, if you push the button, we can break for lunch. Beep, 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 you know, fry, motherfucker. You know,
yeah, but breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
But that's the thing. At that point, though, it's something impeding me from going my course.
What you need.
What I need. If somebody's just, I mean, that is more of a, like you were saying, experiment talking about obedience and submission and weak will.
Yeah. Have you noticed a lot of the bad things that happened?
He says 75%?
70%. A lot of the bad things that have happened in the last year or 2 years have been by people who've been, I guess, brainwashed, been told one thing and not the other side of things, and were just completely browbeaten by certain things. The rhetoric that's been thrown out there.
I'm very reluctant to throw those kind of things out there, because arguments can technically be made on both sides. I mean, now, not necessarily in the mainstream part, and that's where a lot of the difference lies, is that you don't have some people, like, say, on the right, sitting there going, hell yeah, KKK rules, or anything like that. But, you've got people on the left saying, oh, yeah, but Antifa's, they're fine. They're just a little rambunctious, So, yeah, I mean, I think the scarier part on this, and one thing that needs to be kept in mind, one, it's 70% of people, and you said this is in Santa Clara?
Yeah.
All right, it's in California. I mean, these are people that they are designed and seek out being told what
Empathy.
to do.
Yeah. Or being empathetic to
No,
everybody's cause.
no, I wouldn't even say that. No, it's not empathetic or anything like that, because it's apathetic at that point. But it is people that seek to be controlled, told what to do, and be fed, clothed, and taken care of, and so they are quick and easily and happily submitting to authority figures. I would love to see that same test done at, like, not a Texas college, because we still got a bunch, but you go find just like some people in South or in Texas or something like that, and you put them in a room and you grab random people and you're like, all right, shot that guy. You gonna pay me? Well, do I get paid how many times I shock him? And I'll be like, no. Whether you shock him or not, you're gonna get paid. Okay, shock him. No. I mean, wait. What did he do? Did he do something? Did he touch somebody? No. It's nothing like that. I just want you to shock. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Go fuck yourself. No. So I mean, I think that culture, regional culture, probably plays a part in it. I think
I
that
can see
plays
that.
more of a part in it than what you're saying. I mean, people
And the
have
age
always
group too.
people are always kind of weak-willed and willing to follow for the most part, in bulk. I mean, that's how horrific things happen and how crazy people get into power.
We did just talk about cults.
I guarantee everybody that's not on the same side of things as you are. Well, actually, I know it. They say MAGA's a cult, and they say people that follow Trump are brainwashed. And it's easy to write off your opposition saying stuff like that, and that's why I'm kind of reluctant to kind of say that about the other side. The same way that I don't want to say that they're evil.
No.
Now, I do. Instead of saying they're brainwashed, people that I think are stupid, I'll just say, man, they're stupid. But that's about it.
No. Well, I think they say those certain things that they do because they only hear one side of the story, or they just refuse to hear the other side because of their own personal beliefs already. They're already.
That's a lot of people, though. I mean, think about this. All right, think about this. If you try to talk to a devout Southern Baptist person about Catholicism or Judaism, do you think they're going to sit there and calmly listen? Most of them, they're really hardcore into it.
Well,
No, because they
it's
believe
their religion. It's their belief. Yeah.
and that's exactly the problem nowadays. Is politics is becoming like a religion for people nowadays.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. It should be facts and policies, not beliefs and make believe stuff. Yeah, and feelings.
And
Yeah, feelings had nothing to do with it.
And there are people that their political identity is just as meaningful to them as a religious person's religious identity is to them.
That's what's maddening. That's what's maddening. That's what I get on the Facebook and start.
I just sit there and look at it like, okay, the same way I would look at somebody that like came and holding the snake, saying Jesus said that if I hold this poisonous snake, I'll be fine. Here, you hold it. I'd be like, no, you're stupid. And that's the same thing I do with that other stuff. I'm like, no, you're stupid. I'm just not going to engage.
Like I said, I take a big bite of that rage debate a lot.
I got better things to be pissed off.
Well, I do it because I feel like I'm actually got enough knowledge on the stuff now where I can actually give an educated opinion, if you will, even if it may be still skewed to one side. I still know what I'm talking about for the most part, and not just blatantly throwing shit out there.
Do you think if you went up to a rabid atheist with DNA evidence that Jesus died and came back or something like that, or video evidence, that they would believe you?
No. But if they came to my front door and talked to me and engaged the conversation, I would still
that's different. But people don't do that. They don't. That's not what they do. I mean,
putting a comment out there on Facebook allows me to comment back.
Yeah, I mean, people are willing to let a lot of things slide that a lot of people do that are pretty messed up, and I don't think I don't think your facts are gonna do anything either. They're like, yes,
No,
this
I don't hear
person,
anything.
yes, they did become a bazillionaire after becoming a public servant that makes $200,000 a year. And so, I mean, facts
what does
don't
that matter? Yeah, it doesn't. You're right. Well, closing thought: across psychology, biology, curiosity, and technology, these experiments share a haunting thread. They worked. So one should be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. So turn off the Bunsen burners, as that will do it for this one. Be sure to check back next week as Darrell will be experimenting with another topic that made him say, "Wait, what?" We'll see y'all then.
All right, bye.
Later.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Waywut. This show's available on YouTube, Good Pods, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. We love to hear from you. Please comment on what you just listened to, pass along episode ideas, or just talk to us at Waywut Podcast in our Facebook group or on TikTok, Instagram, or X. Again, we really appreciate you joining us. Come back again to hear about some stuff that will make you say, "Wait, what?"